The CEO Mindset is brought to you by
Hill & Company 12 Event Design.
You are now tuned into the CEO Mindset, bringing you trending topics that will engage you to level up in your business while equipping you to maximize your business opportunities and empower you to boldly step into your business brand and be more visible. This is the CEO Mindset. A CEO is bold, optimistic, vibrant, and successful, leaving a legacy, spreading money-making vibes with a wealth mindset to match her grind. She dreams big. CEOs have no limitations, and when obstacles come, they knock them down gracious. Choosing her own path, a CEO never lowers her aim for someone else's gain. She's wise in her steps. CEOs move in silence, breaking barriers, running businesses, securing the bag, making investments, creating perfect credit. Now that's the CEO Mindset.
Hi, I'm Nicole Gates, your brandologist, and today I am joined with a really good friend, Christy Lane, who is a life coach.
Hi.
And she is going to help us introduce our topic for today, which is something that you all definitely want to make sure you have your pen and your paper to take some good notes.
Definitely, definitely. So I hear you guys start the show off every week with one of my favorites, wine.
We do.
Wine.
And we want our audience to always come and wind down with us. So, Christy, today I brought our fact. It's a white wine. It's an everyday table wine. You can have this every day of the week.
I love it.
So if you love wine,
I do.
This is a great wine to pair with your dinner, especially if you're doing something with a white sauce.
Okay.
Or you're having a white meat. So, do you have a favorite dish?
Let's see, Alfredo.
Alfredo.
Chicken
Wonderful.
Alfredo or shrimp Alfredo.
So here's a little tip. Take the chicken or the shrimp, whichever one you use, and you can marinate it in this
wow.
wine. So pour a little in the chicken and shrimp and let it marinate, and pour a little in your glass. How about that?
That's going to happen. That is going to happen.
Absolutely. White wine actually goes well with, strawberries. We always put strawberries with wine, typically white wines and sparkling wine. We have dark chocolate is an amazing
And see, I'm not a fan
pairing.
of dark chocolate, but I'm going to have to try it.
You have to try it.
I have to try it with wine.
So I always tell people all the time, things taste different when you pair it correctly.
Okay.
So a dark chocolate actually marries very well with a white wine.
I'll have to try that.
And of course, our all-time favorite, popcorn. People never think about popcorn. It kind of gives you that balance between, salty and sweet. So
Ever since I saw Scandal.
Right. Olivia Pope has changed our lives.
She's changed the game.
Absolutely. Yes. So, Christy, what's our topic today?
Superwoman syndrome. So many women suffer from this.
Oh my gosh.
It's one of those things that I don't even think you realize as a woman that it's an issue for you because you're so used to operating on 100% full speed that we never stop to think, what are we really doing to ourselves? So
what does that kind of entail? So when I hear Superwoman, I think,
with the K,
like she's everything, right?
And that's it.
Okay.
That's it. Superwoman syndrome is when a woman thinks that she should be 100% a great wife, a great mother, a great employee, a great friend. She's just at 100% in every aspect of her life except taking care of her. But she's there for everybody. She can do it all. She's taking it all in. But it's a lot, and it's not realistic.
Right.
It just isn't a realistic thing to do. Superwoman syndrome came into being like around the 80s, the term Superwoman syndrome. But realistically, as African American women, we've always had to battle Superwoman syndrome. We've always had to fix it. We've always had to be Superwoman.
So how do you think that plays a part? So with the CEO mindset, we always want to speak to our female entrepreneurs, right? Because we are those ones. And some of us are still holding down full-time jobs.
We are.
We're holding full-time jobs. We're trying to get our business off the ground. We may be married or have a significant other, right?
Right.
We may have children, may not. But there's multiple things that we're trying to do in a day, right? So how do you think that affects a brand? So, when I talk about our topics, I'm always thinking about how does it affect your brand? Because if you don't do it correctly, it shows.
It does.
It shows.
I think what has to happen, I know what has to happen is you have to choose. And sometimes you have to choose you. And one of the words that a lot of people will probably disagree with me about is the word selfish. I don't think it's a dirty word. But a lot of people treat it as if it's a really dirty word.
Yeah.
And if you look at the true definition of selfish, it says that you're putting yourself before others because it's going to benefit you.
Right.
That's not a bad thing.
And in business, I think sometimes you have to be selfish. You have to be
selfish. And you have to put self first. So to me, when I hear selfish, I hear putting self first, which is not a bad thing. And when you're dealing with a business, if you don't put yourself first so you can properly do business and complete the task and maintain the goals and meet the agreements that you've made, then you're gonna fail and it's gonna look like a hot mess.
So it does show up. It shows up in your brand when you're not taking care of yourself.
It shows up, in all honesty, in every aspect of your life.
Right.
It's going to show up in your relationship with your significant other. It's going to show up in your relationship with your family, your friends, because you're going on 100 and no one can operate on 100 7 days a week, 24 hours a day.
So
it's
have you ever seen yourself in this position? Have you done
yes,
this before?
Yes.
I've done it before too. I'm guilty.
I'm guilty.
I think every woman
is guilty.
Alive has, you know.
Because as women, we're taught that we're supposed to be good mothers. We're taught we're supposed to be good wives. We're taught we're supposed to be the best employee. That our homes are supposed to be perfect. Well, that was one of the reasons I didn't want to get married. It was too much work. It was too much work. I got to take something off my plate.
Okay.
I knew I wanted to be a mom. I knew I wanted to have a business. I knew I wanted to be, in the workforce. I was like, what can I remove? Okay, that marriage thing got to go because that's too much work.
It was too much
work. Seriously though, we joke about it, but that's a real thing, the Superwoman syndrome. Okay. And you have to learn how to manage it. And you have to own it first. You have to accept, okay, I'm operating on 100, 7 days a week, 24 hours a day, and it's just too much.
So you have to own it first.
You have to own it.
And I think that's the key.
You
have to own it because a lot of women don't even realize that what they're doing, running this rat race, that you are falling into.
And I will tell you why they don't own it. I can save that for later, but I'll tell you why they don't own it.
So after these messages, we'll be back and we're going to talk a little bit more about the Superwoman syndrome. Don't forget to take notes.
The Fruition Complex is a community of forward-thinking creatives and professionals who share a common goal of owning and operating a successful business. The Fruition Complex offers its members access to a collaborative work environment, invaluable networking opportunities, and a list of business development services. Call today, 901-779-2385.
Wine? Because it's not good to keep things all bottled up. Enjoy the lifestyle of all things uncorked, especially when you're wine touring with Gates Uncorked. Gates Uncorked invites you to wind down and host your very own private in-home wine tasting with family and friends. Call 901-466-6703 to book today. Awaken Wellness Consulting mission is to aim, advocate, inform, and motivate individuals to engage in whole person wellness to address real-life challenges. Awaken Wellness Consulting strives to equip and empower individuals in the world to discover whole person wellness. Ready to change your life? Book a consultation at awakenwellnessconsulting.com. At Christy Taylor Consulting, we understand that consulting and coaching is key to your success. We provide insight and creative strategies in the areas of radio, TV, film, and music. We assist creative entrepreneurs and businesses with professional and personal development. Within our media training division, we offer entertainers and executives tailored programs to identify one's personal narrative, craft a compelling message, prep for media interviews, and public speaking. For your client discovery session, go to ChristyTaylorConsulting.com.
Hi, I'm Rod Kirby, and I'm a screenwriter, director, and producer here in Memphis, Tennessee. After completing my last short film in 2016, an interesting idea popped into my head. What if a father and son had to fight for their lives after the rapturing of the saints? The Prayer is a faith-based drama and thriller that follows the story of a man whose wife and daughter are taken to heaven during the rapture. He's left behind along with his son to pick up the pieces after they're gone. Years later, they must fight for their lives when they're visited by a partially blind psychopath who infiltrates their home by impersonating a minister. The Prayer is a dark and gritty exploration of what happens when we're forced to confront our sin and what it takes to earn redemption. After finishing the script last year, I saved a little money to start production on The Prayer. We were able to shoot the first half of the film earlier this year. Now we need your help to finish production in order to submit our project to film festivals. We need money for additional casting, production costs, and finishing funds for post-production. I want to personally invite you to join us in the making of The Prayer. If you're a fan of faith-based films like the Left Behind series, thrillers like Frailty, or tense family dramas, then this is the movie for you. We're raising production funds with the help of a platform called Seed and Spark. We have to raise 80% of our funding goal in order to receive money to complete The Prayer. Please consider pledging just a few dollars to help us reach our goal. Thanks for watching.
If you think you have to do it all, juggle a career, family, your home, exercise, and social activities, you may have a condition called Superwoman syndrome. Superwoman syndrome occurs when we as women are constantly striving and stretching to accomplish everything possible in a perfect manner and not putting our needs as a priority. It's the result of societal changes that allowed women to explore having a career, however, did not redelegate the responsibilities of managing their personal and family life. We must remove the S from our chest and start taking care of the person that matters the most.
So I'm joined with my good friend, Christy Lane.
Hello.
She is a life coach, and we're talking about the Superwoman syndrome,
Oh,
which
yes.
we have already admitted that both of us have fallen guilty.
We're guilty.
We're falling guilty to this. But what we want to answer is the question of why. Why do we fall into this category?
And let's talk about that. Like we said earlier, first thing you do, you have to own it.
You do.
You've got to own that you are operating on Superwoman syndrome level. Once you own it and you know that that's what you're doing, let's talk about the whys. One of the reasons a lot of women, they like being the good girl. They like being good. They have a hard time saying no.
Ooh.
And I'm guilty of that. It is
I used
so
to be, but I
hard.
fixed that.
And I'm working at it, but it's hard to
Right.
say no to people you love,
True.
people you work with, commitments. It's hard to say no, and especially when you're doing something you enjoy.
Right.
It's hard to say
Right,
no.
right.
The other thing is sometimes just low self-esteem. Because you feel like if I don't do this, they're not going to like me. If I don't say yes, if I don't show up here, low self-esteem because you're not feeling comfortable in your own skin
Right.
enough to say no.
Yeah.
I'm just not going
And
to
I
do
think
it.
in business, women get caught up on that point right
Definitely.
there alone
Definitely.
because they're not firm enough or they're not confident enough in the business that they're building, right?
And I'll give you an example. You were talking about it one of your episodes that I heard, the first episode I think it was. You were talking about pricing.
Oh, yeah.
That's low self-esteem when
Yeah.
you move your price back and forward to accommodate somebody because you don't want to lose the business and
Stop
you don't want to tell them
accommodating
no.
everybody.
Stop accommodating.
Right.
No,
You
my
can't do
price
it.
is what it is. You pay or you don't get the service. It's
Right.
real simple.
And you know, the funny part about it is when you talk about building a brand and you're building your business, if they go to a big brick and mortar, right?
They're gonna pay.
They're not changing their prices
No.
to accommodate your needs.
You don't
and
go
so
to-
in business, we need to be able to do that, right?
You don't go to Macy's and negotiate for
At
a
all.
blouse.
At all.
You pay whatever they say that they're charging
If
for
it's
that blouse.
$67,
You gonna pay
It's
unless you get that
$67.
discount
Right.
on a Wednesday. But seriously, and the other thing is, so often we feel guilty. We feel guilty as women about everything. We feel guilty we're not home with the kids. We feel guilty we had to leave work early. We feel guilty we had to cancel date night. You feel guilty about everything.
Right,
Stop.
right.
There's only so
ourselves
many
up.
hours in the day. There's only so many things you can get done. So stop feeling guilty. The other thing that I think that a lot of women are guilty of is the attention. People love being able to say, my house is clean, my kids are smart, you know, I make 6 figures, I've got this business, my husband does this, we do this, and you're a mess. You're a mess.
And you know what I learned is,
but you got the attention.
Women
of
learn
it.
from each other. We learn
They
from
do.
the mistakes we make, you know. So I'm
You
trying.
should.
So one of the things that I'm trying to do with the CEO mindset is to let women know it's okay. We all make mistakes.
Yes.
We've all played the role of Superwoman, right?
Oh, of course.
We've all had to take off the cape.
You better
Put it down and start taking care of ourselves and
You
taking care
better.
of our business.
Yeah.
And that's so incredibly important. I think that the women, when you said we have to learn how to say no,
You have to.
I'm going to tell you the thing that got me. I saw on Facebook, kid you not, saw it on Facebook, no is a complete sentence. And I was like,
Exactly.
That
Period.
that was the game changer for me. It was like the
N-O,
light bulb went off.
N-O,
right?
period.
Yes.
The end.
Yes. It was a game
It
changer.
is.
Because no is a complete sentence.
And
When I
it-
say no, that's
That's
what I
it.
mean, right?
That's it.
Okay.
You know, I love to say, once you say no and people keep talking, it's like, I answered your question. I answered you.
Did you not hear me right?
No, you didn't. See, and what the problem is, what happens with that Superwoman syndrome is you answer it, you say no, and they continue to negotiate with you. And the Superwoman in you thinks, well, I can meet their needs. No, you can't. You need to be meeting your needs. You need to be
Right.
meeting the needs of your business or whatever it is that's most important to you at that time.
And I want people to understand that our business is not, it's not a hobby.
No,
it's not
it's
a hobby.
business.
Like, it's business. I'm
Those
here
are two
to make
separate
money.
words.
Right.
There's hobby, and that's free. And then there's business, and that's where I have
And
to
I
be.
never want my brand to be mistaken as like, oh,
Just
hey,
something
you
fun.
can go to her and she'll, you know, you can
She'll
talk her
fix you.
down on her price. I don't ever want anybody to look at my brand like it's negotiable. You know
And
what I
it's
mean?
not.
Like,
It's
I'm
not.
offering a value, a service, you know, for you, for whatever I'm
And
doing
that's
for
one
you.
of the reasons when I employ someone to work with me, I ask, what's your price?
Yeah.
I don't ask what I can get it for. I'm not trying to
Stop
get
trying to get the
a
hookup,
hustle.
y'all. Stop trying
It's
to
not
get
a
the
hustle.
hookup,
It's not a
right.
hookup.
Yeah.
You know, or if depending on what it is, if I want the hookup, I'm gonna ask, hey, can I get those tickets? You know,
Right.
then I'm gonna ask for that.
Just come out and say it.
And be that woman that can ask for what you want. A lot of super women, they're afraid to ask for it because they don't want to look like they need, or they don't look like they're not 100%.
Wow.
Ask for what you want and be done with that. Don't try to explain it. And that's another thing. Super
Ask for
women
what you
love
want.
to explain. I don't explain. I don't even like having long discussions.
Right. I asked
It
you,
just
it's
is
over
what it
with.
is.
Give me an answer, right?
Right.
Ask for what you want.
Ask for what you want, because if you don't, you're going to get what you're given.
Right.
My daughter
Wow.
worked at a daycare. She used to say, you get what you get and you don't throw a fit. So
Get what you
I,
get and don't
I
throw a
love
fit.
that. I think
Yeah.
that's the cutest thing, but
Right.
it makes sense. You get what you get and you don't throw a fit.
Right.
It is just that simple. But you have to ask for what you want. And if you don't, you're going to get what you get.
So, if you've been taking notes, we gave you just like several
We
nuggets.
gave you several nuggets.
Several nuggets there. Ask for what you want. It's okay to say no.
It's okay.
Stand your ground. Oh my God, stand your
You're
ground.
not
going
to die, and they're not going to die
Stop
either.
trying to negotiate. Stop
Don't
asking for the hookup. And we do that, and
We
sometimes
do.
it's not intentional. You know, some people just really trying to make things fit.
I believe there's a time and place for everything. There's
Absolutely.
times that you can ask for the hookup.
Sure.
And then there's times that if you're employing someone to do some business for you,
Pay for your services.
understand what they're offering and pay them
And be
for
willing
it.
to pay it. Absolutely.
Yes.
So when we come back, we want to talk about how to
We can
overcome.
survive. Yes.
Can we survive
We can
being
fix it.
superwomen?
We can fix
We can
it.
fix it after this.
Align Therapy is a full-service community-based rehabilitation clinic specializing in manual therapy. They provide a more personalized experience for their clients. Align Therapy's goal is to help their patients become their best selves. Call 901-877-2244. Royalty Wellness Spa is committed to providing you with a quality service in an intimate and friendly environment. They offer anti-aging medical treatments that improve the appearance of fine lines and wrinkles, fill lips, voluminize cheeks, and improve deep folds. They also offer treatments that can improve energy, decrease fat, and improve hair, skin, and nails. Call 901-779-2385. It's time to pop some flair into your style at Iona's Closet. Wonderful clothes and outstanding customer service. A wide selection of casual and consignment clothes for the woman of style at Iona's Closet in Memphis. 1015 Take the Shot Studios offers photography, shooting real-time moments, creating lifetime memories, and videography, connecting the dots, linking the past, creating the tapestry of the future. 1015 Take the Shot Studios, a visual storyteller in Memphis. The Fruition Complex is a community of forward-thinking creatives and professionals who share a common goal of owning and operating a successful business. The Fruition Complex offers its members access to a collaborative work environment, invaluable networking opportunities, and a list of business development services. Call today, 901-779-2385. Make a statement without saying a word. Neckology 101 is a leading provider of eclectic and unique neck art in the form of jewelry. They provide an unparalleled selection of quality products, an easy shopping experience, expedited shipping offers, and exceptional customer service. Check out their collection online today.
Here's a few tips for overcoming the Superwoman syndrome. Number 1, take a time out. It helps to build break time into one's day. Number 2, make a sacrifice. If your plate is filled to overflowing, then get something off of it. Number 3, let go of perfectionism. 4, ask for help. 5, relax. 6, develop a support system. And finally, 7, develop assertiveness.
So, Christy, you said we can.
You can fix
We
it.
can survive this
Yes.
Superwoman syndrome.
Yes.
Tell us how.
Let's go
to make
back
that
through
happen.
a little bit. You
Okay.
gotta own it.
You gotta own it.
And then you've got to be able to say no. You got to be able to, you can't please everybody. You can't be everybody's everything. So own it.
Yeah.
Know your limitations. Know who you are and what you bring to the table.
Mm-hmm.
But the biggest thing that I say with overcoming the Superwoman syndrome is be yourself. Put yourself first. Earlier we talked about that dirty word, selfish. And
okay to be
put yourself
selfish.
first. To
Yeah.
me, when I hear the word selfish, I hear a person who has learned to put themselves first.
Right.
And that's not a bad thing. I think sometimes with the word selfish, we get lost in if you're trying to hurt someone, if you have ill intent. But just putting yourself first, that's not
Absolutely
selfish.
nothing wrong with that.
That's taking care of you because
Right.
let's be clear. If that person that's the woman of the home, if she's not healthy, your house is unhealthy. If she's a woman of your business, if she's the head of your business, if she's not healthy, your business isn't healthy.
So if our CEOs are not healthy,
They're no other
your
aspect
business
of
is not
it's not
healthy.
healthy,
So
and
we
it's
need
not
your
going to work.
business to be healthy.
We need you to be healthy. We
Yeah,
need you,
absolutely.
and I'm gonna keep using this dirty word, to be selfish. We need you to be selfish.
Put yourself first.
And, check out the landscape. Look at how others can assist. Because a lot of times with the Superwoman syndrome, you want to do everything.
Oh.
You the only one that can do it. When people have babies, moms especially, she's the only one that can feed her or him. She's the only one that can change the Pampers the right way.
Right.
Lose that. Delegate. Reach out and let other people
And
help
I'll be
you.
honest, that has always been a struggle for me, right?
Yes.
Like delegating, because it's like I know I want it done a certain way. I'm picky about
Exactly,
things.
and we get particular.
And then it's like,
That's
never mind, I can do it
That's
myself,
that
right?
Superwoman
So,
syndrome. That's what
absolutely.
it is.
Yeah.
Learn to delegate and
That's
trust the people in your tribe or your circle or
Ooh.
whoever. Trust them.
Pause right there. You say you got to trust the what?
The people in your tribe. Because if you can't
Ooh,
trust
that's
them,
powerful.
you got to trust them.
You got to be able to trust the people
If
in
you
your
can't trust
tribe.
them, then you
Wow.
need to reevaluate your tribe. You need to
Wow.
reevaluate.
I think somebody is probably writing right
Right,
now.
you need to
Oh,
reevaluate.
wait a minute, yeah.
And
So,
there's nothing wrong because sometimes people rotate in and out.
true.
So there's a season for everything. There's some
Absolutely.
people that they're front and center right now that are not going to be front and center 6 months from now. That's okay. But you have to look at the landscape. You have to reevaluate your tribe sometimes
Yeah.
and decide, okay, this person is valuable in this moment for this.
Yeah. You can't take everybody
You
on
can't
that
take
journey.
everybody everywhere. I mean, have you ever heard that?
Yeah.
Some people you can take to church, and some folks, oh, you can't go to this church with me. Some folks you can take to dinner at certain restaurants and certain places
And I think sometimes we get caught up, right? So we have people that we're used to doing business with, people that we're used to just being in the company of, and separating those things. But I always talk about getting rid of things that's toxic. So you really need to evaluate. So if you're sitting there thinking like, well, you might need to sit back, write that list of people down.
That's why I say check the landscape.
Yeah.
Look at the landscape.
And look who's in that
see
circle.
who's in the circle, who's in the tribe, who belongs, who's served their purpose. No hard feelings, no harm.
Yeah.
Wish you nothing but the best, but we're good.
Yeah.
And
you have some people that are saboteurs, is my favorite word, because there are so many people that will pretend to like what you're doing and cheer you on, but in the background, they're really sabotaging what you're doing because they're really not that supportive, right? So we have to look at all of that.
And you know, even with them, they serve their purpose.
Absolutely.
They serve their purpose. Absolutely. And you have to realize sometimes even a person that's trying to sabotage, you can learn something from them.
Sure.
If it's no more
learn not to deal with them anymore.
And it could be that, or it could be you're trying to sabotage me, but I also know you bring some valuable skills to the table. I'm going to get those valuable skills, but I'm going to keep you in a certain department or area of my life.
I kind of look at it as a challenge, right? It's a challenge for us to kind of level up. Yeah. You know, they kind of light that fire under you. It's like, oh, so you didn't think I could do this?
Right.
Watch me.
You know, another thing I'll say, we have to be careful. Sometimes people don't mean to sabotage.
Right.
They just don't know anything else. They don't know how to be constructive. They don't know how to be of value. They don't really necessarily mean harm.
Right.
They just don't know any better.
Right.
And you have to, again, look at the landscape and manage that. If you're going to be in this circle, I'm going to have to move you over here, though. I don't want no harm to come.
All the way over here.
I mean, let's be clear. There are some people you do have to eliminate.
Absolutely.
There are.
Absolutely.
But sometimes I think, truthfully, there are good people, and I think people have good intentions. I think sometimes they get lost, they get jealous, or you may misunderstood what they mean. And I've had to go back and go, you know what, I think I misunderstood that.
Okay.
So own your stuff. It goes back to owning your stuff.
Right.
As a superwoman, you don't get it right all the time.
Oh, never.
None of us do.
Ever.
So own your stuff. Understand where they're coming from, because there's been times I've said things I didn't mean it to sabotage. I was just being my authentic, honest self.
Right.
And it came off some kind of way.
Right.
But I didn't mean it that way. So you have to own it. You have to reevaluate. You have to look at the landscape, to me, continuously. Have boundaries.
Have boundaries.
Overcoming superwoman syndromes, you've got to have boundaries. There's certain people you do certain things with. There's certain things you do. Like you may say, I'm working 4 hours today.
So that's really doing. About knowing your business,
knowing your business, knowing your brand, knowing your product, knowing your client.
Absolutely. Well,
have
Christy,
boundaries.
you know we got to come back and talk about this. We can talk about this topic probably
forever.
all day long.
I love it. I love it.
But we have very limited time. But as always, you know, I'll always remind our audience to remember where you started.
Definitely.
Celebrate where you are.
Definitely.
Focus on where you're going and always trust the process. I think that's part of anything that you do. You have to trust that process. So we want to close with a little cheer of our white wine.
Wow.
Our everyday table wine. And we'll see you next week on the CEO Mindset.
The CEO Mindset is brought to you by
Hill & Company 12 Event Design.